This is a Freedom Elite. So we're gonna do the roof, but then the other problem we got, which is, see, you can see my little laser there, right there, all the way up there, that's all delammed. So we're probably gonna take the door out, gotta take the window out, obviously take all this molding off, and I gotta peel that siding back all the way to get that fixed. But it looks like the leak was coming from up there where the awning was mounted. The awning's over here, we obviously got that off. There's no gutters on it either. But this awning was not looking well. Got some tape right there. And then these are all rips right in here. That's what happens is the acrylic face starts ripping. We don't use these when we order them. We use a better one. You can order them yourself from Tough Top Awnings. Just go to their website, Tough Top Awnings with an S. .com, and you tell Tyler I sent you over there. He'd be glad to hear from you. He'll get you a good one. The ones he has, they're all solid vinyl. They don't have all this acrylic stuff on there, so they're all double stitched. I've been ordering them 9 years, something like that, 8-9 years. I've been using him. Real good guy. Anyhow, but that's the shape of the awning. So we're trying to get all this peeled out, and we got to get. That's not a gutter. That's just a rail for the awning. It's called an awning rail. Really needs to have gutters on it, so we'll end up putting gutters on it. And but right now it's got to come off so we can peel the siding off. All right, so we peeled the siding back. We got all that up there. All that was all rotted. Across the bottom of the door is rotted as well. It's the end of the ladder. That's all rotted. So now what we got to do is clean it all up. That's what we're doing now. We got to put a new sheet up on there, and then this is all the remnant that came out of it. So it was pretty bad. Now all this was stuck pretty good. All this all the way over to the window. But once we hit that point, it was all rotted there. And then we still got to inspect right here. This is behind the cab. So you get your cab, this little wall. Something down here just didn't look right. So we're going to poke into there and see what that looks like before we close it back up. Make sure we don't have any serious damage in there. But that's what we're up against right now. Once we do all this, then we can get a roof on it. Now we're just trying to get that new sheeting on there. The fresh stuff. Yeah. Gotta get that adhesive sprayed in there. Alrighty, we got her all put back on there. All glued up. You can actually see some of the glue right there, the little strings. We'll get all that in there. So now we're gonna put the window back in, and then we're gonna leave that molding off anyways because it was extended way over there, and we don't want. You can actually see it was extended way about over here. You can see where it stopped somewhere in there, and we're gonna put new gutters on here. I want the gutters to come all the way out here, get that off of the coach and away from the window. So we're gonna do that on both sides, and then I'll show you the roof here. See if I can get around all this nonsense. Gee whiz. Busy. Walk up these set of stairs here. I see all these shops on YouTube and they just all work off of ladders and stuff. You doing this for a living or a hobby? You know, you don't do a good job like that. You want to be comfortable and be able to work and get everything done. So this is obviously the roof we're going to replace, right? And you see they just slobber all this stuff on here. And I'm just lifted that up right there. See how it doesn't stick? This stuff is trash. It doesn't work. This is their cash cow. What they do is they exploit people's ignorance to roof systems, and they go, put some more of this on, put more on. And the only ones that are putting more on is a moron. Come on, think about this. How many times you gotta put it on there before it stays sealed? It's not designed for all this. And also, that's a different product. That's why it's not gonna stick. So that's part of it. And also, it's just trash. They know this stuff doesn't work, but it's their cash cow. So why redesign it and make it work when you're buying it when it doesn't, and you have to keep buying more. So this is the type of roof. It's a TPO. What you're looking at right here, this is called a fleece back. So when we peel this roof off, we're going to have to redeck it because of this. I'm not going to go over this roof, and a lot of other shops probably would go over this roof versus tearing this up. But I don't like that. You got to get that new decking down, and you can't really glue it to this. so it's not going to stick. But this is a TPO, but it's not the TPO that we use. This is just RV grade, and it's cheap and it's thin, so you can't weld to it, you can't do anything to it. It's just basically, you know, a sheet of that is waterproof. But once you start putting protrusions in it, that just defeats everything, you know, because these aren't flashed out. These are supposed to be flashed out. I put these videos up mainly so the customer can see what we're doing, but hopefully some other people out there will see this. And if you like the video, I guess you hit a like, and if you like it, then other people find it. But I'm trying to educate people. That's why my videos don't have all that fancy intro. Hey, we'll be back. I mean, all I do is take all these video clips that are in the card, and we just download them, and then I put it into a movie. That's it. Look at that, perfect on it. It'll all come off like that. It's just all junk. So, and the shame is, this isn't like overly bad. I like this type of roof system for sure, because ours is a TPO, but it's just so cheap you can't do anything with it. You know, it's like Chevy come out with a Chevette. That technically was a car. It was just a really low budget car, you know. So what we're putting on is a Cadillac Escalade. So the way they put these down, up underneath here is a foam gasket, and that's it, just a foam gasket, and that's supposed to keep all the elements out. Well, what happens is the elements that I'm talking about, like pollen and dirt and things like that, they'll dry out that foam gasket, and then it'll start leaking, and then it'll end up getting inside. You usually don't know it until all the stuff around here rots, and then sometimes if you watch some of my other videos, you'll see air conditioners that are just sunk right in, because it's not a good idea. It's not a good design. It's not the proper design. So the way I designed these roofs, if you've watched any other ones, but these roofs are designed, basically they are literally a mini commercial roof. Go online, do a search for images of commercial flat roofs. And when you do that, you're going to see the air conditioner, you're going to see the skylights, the vents, you're going to see them all elevated up off the roof line. Those are called curbs. You can't buy these curbs. I have to custom make all of them. I have to make every single one of them. I make one for that refrigerator and so forth, and you know, the vents, AC, and these, we'll get rid of this, and we're going to put I'm going to make a special boot, and that'll be sealed, so even if the cap does come off, like if you take this cap off, I know there's a screw in there, there you go, so we'll say that pops off, here's a tree branch, boom, pops off, water's going to get down inside there, and it's going to leak and rot everything out if you don't catch it. We'll say the pipe's in more or something, right? So that's going to be an issue. Ours, when I put the boot on there, it's going to be all sealed, so even if the cap pops off, it doesn't matter. The only cap that would ever matter is when I'm going to put a solar fan over there, and I'm going to get ventilation between that that lens and the inner lens. I'm going to get some ventilation in there because it traps moisture. So the intake that I put on there, if that cap come off, that's the only one you'd have to worry about. And you would steal one of these plumbing caps and put them on there. Because it's going to have just a channel, it's going to have an open cavity, and when I put it there, it'll be an intake. It's basically that's what's going to draw the air in, and on the other side I'll have a solar fan, so the fan will start pulling the air constantly through it. If you've watched the other ones, if not, you'll see it at the end of this clip. I made a special curve for that little antenna over there, but we're going to be replacing it. So, you know, and the same with these ladder boots. These things wiggle a lot, and when they do, see how much they wiggle, right? So when they do, all they have is these type of mounts right here, up underneath here, and all that's just water can get in there and start rotting this out, you know. So but that's what we're gonna do, is put boots on there. I'm just trying to see how good or how bad it's stuck in there, but I can see around here water can get in this way and that way. Ours is going to be different. So like I said, we'll get rid of all this trash, all this stuff. Took the gutter off. So there's the other, obviously the other plumbing, and that's about us. So let's get to work. We're going to tear it all apart. Once we get the scaffold put back together, then we go in and we're going to protect the coach. We'll protect the awnings. We'll protect everything, and then we can go ahead and take it all apart. All right, as you can see, we got the roof all tore up. What you're looking at here, that's the fleece back. So we can't get our glue. Won't stick to it. It'll wad all that up. We have lumps up underneath the membrane. It looked terrible. Then we had some issues here This is all rotted, so we took this out and did a repair. There was one over here, but they already covered that up on me. And I'm moving fast here. And then we got this one over here. So, oh, and one more over in that corner. So we got all that. Now we're going to redeck it, and then we'll be able to get the roof on. So otherwise, there wasn't that much damage to it. The camera looks good. The actual straightness of the roof looks fine. Everything looks good. Just needs to be redecked. Got the new roof deck all glued down. Put our shoulders on here. This is going to protect the phylon, the roofing really, because the phylon comes out the siding and then the edge of the plywood. You don't want that to chafe that roofing. That's why we put that on there. And then obviously we got it all reskinned. And this one didn't need buffer strips. Sometimes I put them in, but if we get these real tight and nice, we don't need them on here. So this is the refrigerator right here. That's what that little gap is about. We'll end up cutting that section out. And now we're going to get ready to pull this roofing off. So we got the deucing over here. Now what we're going to do is I made this fancy dancy little dispensing machine for the roofing. And we're just going to peel it out like a roll of paper towels. That's all we do. And it'll go. And it just rolls out. You just got to get it started. It's a new roll. This is all commercial. Everything we do is all commercial. All the materials there is. Heave ho! Heave ho! Come on, put your back into it. So we got it all pulled out. Hey, come up here and give a hand. Sometimes those rolls, they just roll them so tight. You got to crank it and then a couple guys pull it out. But it's a great system, works well. So now we're gonna get to gluing it down. All right, so we have got, this is the passenger side, all glued down. You can see all the glue we got on this. There's a driver's side, obviously. We're gonna roll it out. Then we're gonna start getting our vents and everything else all cut out and start assembling this roof. Most everything already done up here, so I'll go over that. It's all dirty. But one of the things I wanted to show is right here. It looks like it's going to be a leak. So what we're going to do, just make sure it doesn't leak, we're going to just put a white stripe on there. I don't have this color. It's just going to be white. Go across, at least it'll prevent it from leaking. That's a crack from when it's coming up. There's no strength behind this, see? There's nothing in there. So the sun this is basically a stress point, and that's what causes all them little blister cracks in there. So we're just going to put something on it so it'll, then if they don't like it, they can put another one on or take it off, but at least when it leaves here, it'll be watertight. Well, we are done. She's ready to go. I want to thank these folks here for bringing it into us. We really appreciate the work. We take our time to make sure it's done right. Right here, we got our little stamp on there. It just tells us the month and the year that we installed it, just so when it comes back for inspections, we can overlook it. So everything you see here, all these components are all heat welded. We don't sell anything. These aren't DIY videos. We primarily put these videos together so the folks who own the coaches can see all the work we did to made what repairs we made. So all of these are all heat welded. Everything is in here heat welded. So a lot of times these ladders, they'll have the base like this on the top over here, and then what it'll do is it'll leak. And they slobber it with self-leveling, and that's usually how we get some rot in there. It's not going to happen with this. This is all a special sealer we use to stay flexible. So we get all that. And then we put gutters on here, put an insert trim in here. And I need to have the gutters on there. I don't know why they don't ever put them on there. But we had to put the same awning on there. They said not to worry about the awning. We did need a new lens though. And this is the solar fan. This is your plumbing. This is the intake over here. So what all this is about is, especially now with it getting colder, I guess, what's this, September, so October is going to start getting cooler in the morning. You'll notice some dew on here. The sun will come up and it'll evaporate this off. But what's up underneath on this lens, on the inside of this lens, it won't get evaporated off. And that frost will start to just basically condense, and then it'll drool down, and it'll start to either rot out. It would want to rot out the curb, or it would probably get into the decking if we didn't have a curb on here, and that may be happening to yours. A lot of people think it's a skylight, and it's dry rot, and they'll keep, you know, layering and layering and layering some more of that self-leveling on. They're putting more on. I mean, so that's really what the problem is. So what I did is I designed these fans up. This is an intake, and inside here is a little ductwork that I put in. So now when the sun comes up to evaporate this off, this fan is kicking on because it's solar. So the sun obviously actuated it, and then it'll pull in. The air goes in here, goes over the inner lens, comes back down through another ductwork that goes through here and exhausts out. So I mean, obviously I can't warranty these here. I don't warranty the skylights. I can't warranty any of that. But that's basically the principle to it. All of these curbs are all heat welded down. Every curb we have is all made with a counter flash. This is all commercial application. This is exactly how you do a commercial roof. This is an exact replica of a commercial roof, except it's just scaled down. So now when all this water starts rushing across in a storm, whatever, it's going to try to rot up here, and it's going to get diverted around. So what it does is it's going to minimize erosion effect, so it's not always washing away, you know, the caulking of the sealant and so forth. So that's the principle of the counter flash. But we get, you know, again, we got the same thing, same curb over there, all heat welded together, same plumbing, and then refrigerator also welded down. We have the two stands on the back. It just gives the AC some balance. Had a solar wire up there. That's what that little patch is over there. The solar wire, if you need to access it, goes straight through there. So that's, I don't know if it works or not, but we just put it all back the way it was. So we changed out their crank-up antenna. Oh no, they had they just had a regular stationary antenna, looked like a saucer. So they wanted to change that out. So we put this on here. This is a wind guard automatic. I like these. We can mount them this way with galvanized bolts, and if anything ever happens to it, if it fails for whatever reason, then you could just undo these bolts right here and undo the coax, pop it off, and then you can pop a new one on. It'll take you longer to take it off than it would to go in the store, buy one, to put a new one on, or get a replacement for it. So I like these a lot better. Some of the other ones, you have to break all the sealant apart, and then you have to reprime them, you have to reseal them. It just, if you want to go and it's something that doesn't work and you want to get it done real quick, I mean, these are more expensive though, just FYI. So again, we got all another curb in there, and then again we put the gutters on here, so put our spouts on there so all the water will trail away from it. And now I'll show you the roofing itself is a 60 mil commercial grade TPO. TPO is thermoplastic. So they do make PVC, and PVC, I'll get it probably the light be a little better down here to see these. PVC is another polyvinyl chloride. It's another type of roof system that some people ask, and really the difference is a lot of times when they use the PVCs, they're really designed for maybe like a chemical plant or someplace where there may be some fallout from an exhaust or something that would otherwise deteriorate a roof membrane. That's typically what they're for, and they're generally more expensive. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, the TPO is what you need. But here's the sample of the roofing. It's a 60 mil commercial grade TPO. This is a structured membrane. What a structured membrane is, if you look there, you see all the little squares in there. That's a screen, basically. It's a mesh that's built into it, and it helps resist against hail and tree branches. So I got the three colors here that we offer. Turn that around so you can read it, I guess. And then you got your three colors that we offer. These are standard colors, so if you if you want a sample, just call us and we'll be glad to send one out. But it's just a 60 mil. Again, it's a 60 mil commercial grade TPO membrane. So easily patchable. If you get a hole in the roof, it's real simple. We could just do a hot patch like we have patches around here, basically on there. We do a hot patch, or even like we did with the logo over there, or the stamp. So that would be a long-term fix. The maintenance on this is real simple. All you have to do is, I'd like to see it washed a couple times a year. All you have to do is wash it with some dish soap if you want. Come up here, scrub it down, or run through a truck wash and say, hey, get up there and wash it down. You can walk up here, you can pressure wash it. This is an awesome roof system. You're not going to hurt it. So I mean, you'd have to really be a fool to use like a pencil type nozzle on a pressure washer and like literally pierce through it and sit there with it. It's very resilient, this product is. So that's how the maintenance works. The warranty is real simple. We like to see these come back 60 days, no later than 60 days after. I like to see them sooner than that, but the point is I want them to move. I want them to get some miles on them because they rack and they twist and they, you know, shake and so forth. And I want to make sure that we addressed all the problems, all the caulking, everything is all the way it should. So if I got another coach like this in here, it's twin brother, if you'd say, if I got one of those in here, it would rack and twist and flex differently than this one. It's just the dynamics of it. So I want to make sure all of it's addressed here. After that, you come back once a year. So now, what's it, September, October, November, we see this come in. That's November 23. Their next inspection will be due November 24. They come in November 24. We're going to give them a warranty from November 24 to November 25. And every year you get it renewed annually. I want to see it every year. Some people don't come back. You're welcome to come back. We want to see them come back. You paid us to put it on. We want to make sure we're doing our job for you. It doesn't cost you anything but the time to bring it here. And you don't want to do these twice. So we've gotten up here and we want to make sure, I mean, we may find something that you don't see as a normal consumer. And we may want to address it before it becomes a problem. So if it isn't inspected, then that will basically get it out of warranty. The warranty will lapse. In order to get it back in warranty, we have to re-inspect it. So if we re-inspect it and there's some damage there that we have to fix, and it's something we could have done otherwise during an inspection to prevent it, then obviously the customer would have to pay the difference for us to fix it, to put it back under warranty. That's pretty much how the warranty works. So, and I told you how to clean it. Let's see, what else am I forgetting? Again, these aren't DIY videos. We don't sell anything. I make every single one of these. I fabricate everything here. So everything is all fabricated in the shop. But we don't sell anything at all. We don't sell one thing. So we're just a service center. Let's see if I can find the insert trim. Where'd it go? Here it is. All right, so the way the insert trim works, your typical insert trim is just like this. You can see it sliding inside that track. Okay, this is what we're using, except white. And you can see there's a little groove there that goes into that track, and it fits right in there. And so now it's locking it up inside there and on top of it, and all the water will just roll right off. I don't want any water to get inside the track, and you can see how, you know, this one would let some water come in right here, you know, right down in that track. Some water will get in there because there's nothing to like push it out, right? So, and then all these screws, every one of these screws in here. See if I pop this open real quick. Every one of them. Make sure we got those sealed. Every screw is sealed. Everything is. Then that's kind of important. So we take the time to make sure everything we can think of where it would add to the longevity of the roof, we do. 2 strikes of caulking all the way down here. So we put, this is glued on, fastened on, glued on, fastened on, and then when we put it against there, usually you get a burp of the adhesive that comes up here. It's the adhesive caulk that we use. We'll strike it down. Once we strike it down and it cures out, we go back with a strike on top of it. When that strike cures, we go back on top of it yet with another strike. So what happens a lot of times when you're using caulking is you're squeezing the tube and you're just kind of squeezing the trigger, you'll hear it pop and crackle. That means you injected an air bubble. So if you don't protect that and these rack, twist, and flex differently, right, and that air bubble breaches, then you potentially have a leak. So my thought is, what are the chances of having one air bubble land on top of another one? Probably slim to none. So one of the other things we did on here, I think I showed it on the camera, was this crack that was over here, and all we did was put a piece of vinyl over it. That's it. So there is a little bit of color difference you can see there, but it protects that edge. I think it's almost right there, you know. I wanted to make sure we didn't get any, you know, leaks in there, just, you know, chronic leaks. So we also sealed over all the lights and everything else we thought was of immediate importance. But I do encourage and have the customer go around and caulk and seal this whole entire coach. You know, everything that, you know, that we haven't done for sure. But, you know, I'm talking about it around the windows, talking around those tail lights down there. Make sure all of this is all caulked. Right in here, these little latches that hold the doors, everything's got to be caulked and sealed. We found a lot of issues with just things like that. Even that little light, I'd take, there's some screws in it. You want to probably take those, work them out a little bit, put some caulking on it, put it back in so you have a little grommet, much like I showed you underneath the, for the gutter here. You want to have the same type of seal on there, and but definitely get this, keep them caulked up. So we also fixed the front end. I think I already showed you that, but we already fixed that front end delamination and got that all squared away. So, all right, well, we appreciate y'all watching. We're going to see you on the next one. And if you got any questions, obviously our card is on there. You can give us a call. Skip the ads. I don't care about the ads. You can skip them all if you get a chance. I don't put them up there. YouTube is doing it themselves. We try to demonetize all the videos. I think they're a pain in the butt. I don't put these up there for the money. I'll put these up here so the customer can see exactly how we put their coach together, what we come across, and so on and so forth. But it's not about the money to us. I don't care. It's just more of a pain in the butt to deal with YouTube, in my opinion, than it is for the little trickles of pennies that I get for putting them on there. But like I said, they're the ones that are doing it. I demonetized it. They sent us an email saying, hey, if you don't do it, we're going to do it. So anyhow, it is what it is, but skip them. And I appreciate y'all watching.
Care package. Right. So in our care package, we have caulking, we got primer, we have got 2 patches. Those are heat patches. We got a patch peel and stick patch. We got a checker tool. We've got a magnet. And the rest of this is just pens, keychains, brush, nozzle. Okay, so if we have a hole in the roof, it will simulate a hole. You can do hole simulations. We say we got a hole there. Here's your tree branch come through and you're like, oh man, I got a hole in my roof, it's leaking. So what you want to do, and it's raining out. Right now it's raining, you're like, crap, I gotta stop that leak. You want to get in there, and if you can't get that nozzle in there, don't worry about it. Make it a little bigger. What you're trying to do, you need to get up underneath the roofing, like this. This is what we need to do, get up underneath the roofing. Then you're going to take and you're going to put this up inside there, and you're going to squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hopefully this thing is plugged up. There it goes. You squeeze, squeeze. You want to try and get up underneath this part too. Squeeze up underneath there. Put some more underneath there. Well, we are getting this thing all boogered up. Then what we're going to do, you're going to push it together. See how it oozes out? That's sealed. You're done. This is a moisture cured product. So what? It's a hot mess. Looks terrible. Who cares? Keep the water out. So now, the next day, we're going to go up there, and that's going to be cured looking like that. So we're going to take a knife, and you just shave it down. Just shave it down with a knife. I'm just going to obviously wipe this off. Now you say, hey, I want something a little better than that. What we're going to do is get some cleaner. This is a terrible rag. You got another one. You got one on you? Oh, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag. Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to talk about, man? No, just leave it alone. Oh, leave it alone right now. We're recording now? Are we on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alright, so now we cleaned it off with a knife. I just washed that off because it's still wet. Take that off. So now we got a patch. There's a peel and stick patch. We're going to take that, we're going to center it over there. Just take a pen and go around like this. I like to kind of put a dash like that so I know who's where, what, and where, and how. So now there's what I got. So in the package we got primer. We also have a brush. You're going to take that, you're going to go all inside the square. You're also going to go outside this square about 3/8 of an inch. Outside about 3/8 of an inch or so. Once you get that, there's a film on the back. You peel the film, now you know which side you are, see, because there's your marks. And you peel that film back. I get my fingers in there to get the film off of this thing. This is just a regular roof tape. That's all it is. We put them in all the care packages. Get that daggone thing off of there. Probably need some fingernails. Probably help. Come on. There it is. Okay. Oop, hit, there it is. Now you got the film. We take that film. So now we're going to line it back up with this. We already got the primer under there. You just peel the film back, and as you do, you just rub it down like this. Sometimes that film will get a little stuck in there. This is just a butyl. You just kind of try to keep it as even as you can, as flat as you can. Boom, you're done. There it is. So now, out here, this is where your primer is. You put the primer on there. You got primer there, and now you're going to put primer here. You want to prime all this area with your brush. Prime all that. Then you're going to come back. Once you get it all primed, then you're going to put a little bit of caulking on it, just like this. That simple. If it doesn't all sit in there, you can always take your finger and go around it if you want. We're trying to obviously stop a leak and make one of. There's going to be a little more permanent of a patch than just that plug that we did when it was raining. So now that we get that all done, what the whole purpose of it is this part here. This part underneath here, that's a butyl. When the sun hits that, if you didn't have the caulking on there, it will cause it to release and curl up just like I'm doing here. And it'll start coming loose. That's why you need the primer. That's why when you prime it, you're going to prime on top of this because nothing will stick to it. Nothing, the caulking will not stick to this patch and it won't stick to the roof unless you use the primer. That's how you do a patch. Ta-da! All done.